Hello, welcome to Chapter 12. And before we dive into Section 1, the whole entire chapter is called Transformations in Symmetry. If you look at page 498, there's a picture of a monarch butterfly, and it is very symmetric. And it is one wing is a mirror image of the other, which is called a reflection. And the verse that I want to talk to you about is Genesis 1:26, that talks about all of us being made in His own image. So we're supposed to be a mirror image of God. He wants Christians to reflect that image by imitating His character and His actions. In 2 Corinthians 3:18, it says that when we look at God's glory in the same way that we look in a mirror, we can be changed from imperfect to perfect. So reflections are the central theme of this chapter. Mirrors or lakes that reflect mountains, which is going to be on page 501, you'll see that, they're all familiar to us. Okay, and mathematical reflections make the concept very precise and technical. So we're going to be using combinations of reflections and other kinds of transformations, but reflections are useful for identifying symmetrical figures like this butterfly. So let's talk about other kinds of transformations. Okay, so in math, the term transformation describes a change in appearance of points on a plane. So we'll be talking about coordinate planes eventually, but we're talking about two-dimensional. So it's a correspondence between point locations before and after the change. The figure before a transformation is called the preimage, and the figure that you result is called the image, which seems kind of funny. It usually seems like it should be image and post-image, but it is not. It is pre-image and just image. So transformation talks about a major change in form or the appearance of something. And I don't know if you remember, but when Saul turns to Paul, that was a pretty giant conversion, and that was in Acts 9:3-18. So anyway, I just making some biblical connections here because I think it's really relevant in this chapter. A transformation can be thought of as a movement of the figures. Some movements change the size and shape of a figure, and other transformations do not. So we are going to be talking first about reflection. So here is a pre-image of a triangle ABC. And if I'm going to transform it, here in this slide I'm just going to be sliding this horizontally so that I have an A prime, B prime, and C prime, and all of these will make my new image. So I went from my pre-image ABC, triangle ABC, to my image, triangle ABC prime. So here's the official definition of a transformation. It's a one-to-one function from the plane onto the plane. Another kind of transformation that we're going to talk about now is called a reflection, and it's similar to a mirror image. So line L is called the line of reflection or the mirror. So in a reflection, we have our pre-image x, y, z, and we are going to map them to x prime, y prime, and z prime. So if the vertices of the pre-image are named in counterclockwise order, then the image has to also be in has clockwise order to it. So the order of the vertices is called the orientation, and reversing the orientation is a characteristic of reflection. So let's practice this. So here, line L is down the center of your screen here, and the pre-image is the XYZ that's on the left. So if it were to look in a mirror, like say in Flatland is looking in a mirror, this is the side that it would see. And everything further from the mirror would look further from the line. So it's almost like you're flipping it over like a pancake. So a reflection in a line L is a transformation that maps each point of point A of a plane onto point A prime, such that the following conditions are met. So number one, if A is on line L, then A equals A prime. You can't flip it anywhere. It stays on the line. And if A is not on line L, then line L is the perpendicular bisector of A prime. Okay, so it's equal distant from the line. So let's look at that. So I need to find the image of the segment that's reflected along line L. Okay, so I'm going to draw some lines here. So line L is a perpendicular bisector, right, from the distance between A and A prime. So there's the perpendiculars, and that one little arrow is exactly the same distance as the second arrow that gets me to A prime. So those distances of those orange dashed lines are equal. And then I will have my segment. And that segment's looking in the mirror. So A is exactly the same distance as my A prime. So my image and my pre-image are exact mirrors of one another. Let's do another one here. Now, this time I'm going to draw the line of reflection that maps the pre-image ABC to the image ABC prime. So this is a little trickier because you have to find the line, or we're placing the mirror in there now. So both the pre-image and the image are there. We're placing the line so that everything is a perfect perpendicular bisector. So what I'm doing is making little connectors between all the points, and then it helps me see where will they line up. So there's the bisector of that segment, there's the bisector of that segment, and therefore there is my line of reflection. You're going to be doing these exact steps in your whisk. Okay, so here are your 3 practice problems, and don't forget to email me. Now these are going to be JPEG images that you will have to look up. There's going to be 3 of them, so I'm not sure how that's going to work for me as far as replying, so I may have to do this manually. So if you don't get them right away, please check back because you still need to grade them. And I will see you in class.